And when you all are in streams elsewhere, when you're watching other shows, when you're in other streams, push this verbiage. Make sure that everyone out there is hearing it and that it begins to spread. This is when I talk about how we have something here that can spread rapidly. Nothing wins like success. All right. So we have something here that as we each of us succeed in our conversations with anti-whites, our other brothers and sisters in the white positive sphere and outside of it, CivNats and all of these other people are going to see the success, and they are going to want to become a part of it. So you get out there and use these dialectics, use this verbiage, win, and thereby win people to the cause of white well-being. And this can spread very fast. All of this conversation about, you know, these folks who were saying, well, if you pass out leaflets or something, that's not brave. Or if you know, no, absolutely, that is courageous. Absolutely. If you have the right formula, this is not just another document with rape statistics on it, for God's sakes. This is the antidote. This is the antidote to mean pathogens, to what is inflicting and causing white noir in our people, to what is keeping us white guilted so that we can't function, so that the true Western spirit within us can't come forward and work for our well-being and work for the recapturing of our destiny. This is the medicine that we need. Pass it on. Make sure that people know this information. We want to hear these testimonies from people who are having victory in the cause for white well-being by employing this verbiage. You for the first time in your life, you will shut down the anti-white opposition. Nothing feels as good. I promise you, nothing feels so good as having had a lifetime of debating anti-whites and walking away frustrated, walking away angry, walking away with them with their nose in the air and smug, and you feeling, no matter how much you put into it, no matter how much information that you brought to it, that you somehow lost a piece of that conversation or even the whole conversation. Nothing feels so good as totally reversing that scenario, as suddenly coming out as the victor in that conversation, watching the anti-white person, whatever they are, to one anti-white to one degree or another, walk away from that conversation, being the one who feels like they are the immoral one, that you have ended up on the moral high ground, that they are the frustrated one pulling their hair out. Nothing feels as good as that. That is the feeling I always have. So people say, how do you stay so positive? How do you have such energy for the cause? Well, the reason I'm positive and the reason I have energy for the cause is because it doesn't matter what anti-white I go up against. I win every single time. Every time I have these debates with them, I win. And you will too. If you employ these dialectics and you employ this verbiage, you will win every time. And what does winning really mean? Well, when it comes to just some disgusting anti-white that isn't going to be altered from the hell that they desire for us, it means that you've sent that loser on his way with his or her way with their tail between their legs. When it comes to others, people who can potentially be reached, what that means is that you've gotten into them at some degree. At some point, you've reached them, and that one of two things is going to happen. And both of them are positive for us. Either that anti-white, if it's a white person or non-white, is going to begin going free from anti-white ideology, 1 degree at a time, 1 step at a time, and eventually potentially end up with us here serving white well-being, or they're going to be paralyzed by what you have shared. That is just as valuable to us as them coming to white well-being, is paralyzing them with indecision, paralyzing them with the belief that they're not 100% right, that you are not just some kind of monster that can be dehumanized and your rights taken away and your civilization taken away and your inheritance taken away. That is every bit as good as turning them to the cause of white well-being. Because trust in this, the anti-whites don't have that broad, many scores of millions of white people on their side. What they have is a broad scores of many millions of white people who have been paralyzed with indecision about whether or not they're right, about whether or not it's a moral thing to stand up and fight for our own well-being. that is their victory. Our victory will be bringing those people to our side, and to a degree, some of them paralyzing them with indecision about whether or not it's a good thing to oppose white well-being.